There are scientists all around the world, but how do we identify those who are the most productive and impactful to their respective fields? Well, with the Hirsch index or H index, we have a way to measure this. The H index is calculated by counting the number of publications an author has that's been cited at least that number of times. So, for example, if a researcher has 10 publications and the first 5 have 10 or more citations and the remaining 5 have fewer than 10, that would put their H index at 5. You can see the visual here for more details. We're going to use OpenAlex because it's free, flexible, and does a lot of the calculations such as the H index without all the hassle. Okay, I'm going to show you what happens when this is all done. It's pretty neat here, and I'm going to explain why we have an author ID here and not right here. So this right here, this is Brian Holland. I had him in a different video. He's the lead singer of The Offspring, but he also has done some research. You probably know Anthony Fauci, and then Lisa Kudrow, believe it or not, from Friends, Phoebe from Friends, she's actually published some scientific work as well. So here we go. I'm going to hit go here. And check it out, we have all these cool metrics right here. And we even have a URL to check the results if we're not feeling confident or something. Our main priority is the H index, but you might have noticed that there's some other readily available metrics like the I-10 index, so we might as well get those too. Okay, so what we want to do here, we want to go to openalex.org/authors, or you can also search works or sources or whatever too, but we're going to search authors here. So I'm going to type in Brian Holland, for example, and let's make sure that we select the correct one that we want. And the reason that we have this ID right here is because there's multiple people named Brian Holland, okay? So you can see there's one right here and there's one right here. And, a couple other ones as well. We want the one from University of Southern California. So let's click on that. And what we have right here, this is a unique identifier for that author. So that's the same as you see right here. So what I've done is for people that have common names, I put the author ID there. If they're not common, I just leave it blank. That's how I have this code set up. Now, Anthony Fauci here, you can see that there's tons of Anthony Fauci's here, but it's actually the same person. Just some has A.S. Fauci or Anthony S. Fauci or just regular Anthony Fauci. So mostly what I've done, and I feel like most people do, is you just go with the one that has the most, and it's going to default to that anyway. So it's going to be this one right here. Okay, so just look here, the H index of 184 right there. So that's how I have this set up. It's just kind of a mess. If you're going to go back here and get all those Anthony Fauci's that we were just looking at a second ago, if we're going to get all these, it would just be too much of a pain. You could do that. I just don't think it's worth the effort. And this pretty much sums it up anyway. Okay, here's a blank Excel file. So first thing I want to do, let's just create 2 columns here. So we have authors and we have author ID if we need it. Okay. Now, this is going to be a macro because we're going to use VBA or Visual Basic for applications. So let's go ahead and just save this now. Save it as a macro file. Get this part over with. Macro enabled workbook. Once we have our file here, let's go ahead and hit save. Now we can skip that step here. Okay. So let's put in our authors here. Let's put in Brian Holland, Anthony Fauci, and Lisa Kudrow. Okay, let's make this a little bit wider here. And like before, let's search for Brian Holland and pick the one from University of Southern California and find his unique identifier. Okay, and so right here, we're going to put in Brian Holland's author ID right there. And now we're set up. Okay, now what's the next step? Now we got to put in the code. I'm not going to do the code line by line. I'm just going to throw it all in there because it's a little bit long, but we can go through it pretty quickly. Now, if you have the developer tab like I do here, you just want to go to Visual Basic, click on that. But let's assume that you don't. Just go ahead and hit Alt and F11. And you should get something like this. Just go ahead and double click right here, Sheet 1. And let's put in the code. Let's start from the top right here. So right here, we have a bunch of variables. We're just going to define what they are, okay? Just a few key things here. So HTTP right here, this is going to communicate with the OpenAlex API. URL here, this is the API request, a link, and we'll get to that in a second. But essentially what's going to happen is we're going to loop through our list here and do a bunch of things, to put it lightly here, okay? So this right here, pretty simple. This tells the script to use the first worksheet in the current Excel file. Now this is going to add the headers. So this is the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th columns. So I'm going to throw in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th columns right there. It's going to put in the labels right there. And then we're going to also put in the data. We're going to do that a little bit later. So this right here, this finds the last row of data and then it stops right there. So this connects us. So this allows us to connect to the OpenAlex API. Anytime you have a for I or a for anything, typically it's a loop. And so that's what we're doing right there. We're going to loop through each author. We're going to get the author ID and the author name and so on. But one thing I want you to look at here is this right here. You see API? Now this looks pretty crazy. Click on pretty print and you can see the information that we're going to parse. So we're going to parse this. We're going to get this H index, I10 index, and so on. So all we're doing is we're using Excel to look for certain things. So look for this, and then look for this, and get this value right here. That's essentially all that we're doing. So if you can follow along with these few variables that we're getting, you can get other stuff too, for sure. So when we have the author ID, it actually does make things a lot easier. That's going to go in that URL right there. But if we don't have that, we're going to search by name right here. That's faster this way if you search by name. But unfortunately, you have those issues where you have multiple authors, the people that have common last names, that can be problematic. All right, so this section here, we're actually sending the request to OpenAlex and we're getting, that's what that get part is right there. We're retrieving data. Now this checks for a valid response. So 200 means like, okay, everything's good. It's a successful request. And then the response is going to be stored in this variable called response text. And that's when we start parsing out things. So you can see the parsing going on right there with the H index, I10 index, the citation count, the word count, and so on. Right here, we're just constructing a URL depending on whether we have the author ID or just the name. If we have the author ID, it's very easy. But if we don't, we parse the API response to get the author ID, and then we construct the URL. We're pretty much just extracting a number of search results, because that is kind of useful to know. So when you're searching for Anthony Fauci, it'll give you the 10 or 12 or however many there were. Where Brian Holland, this will be 1. It's just useful to know. And of course, if nothing works or maybe one piece of information is missing, we're going to have error right here. If you want to just make it blank like that, you can do that. But I just, for the purpose of this video, want it to be extra clear what happened. This is going to actually output those data to those columns. So if we go back here, it's going to throw everything, all in this area right there. Okay. Now this is very important right here. So if we had like 20 authors and we just made it retrieve all those results at once, we might get our IP address blocked or we might overwhelm the server, and we don't want to do that. So what this does is it puts a 1-second delay between each request, and that way we don't overwhelm the server, we don't get kicked off or whatever. And then right here, I always love these VBA message boxes. This tells us, hey, we retrieved everything, everything's all good, you're done. There's some great add-ons that make this really easy, but I'm going to pretend, you're like me. At my work, we're not allowed to download software without, 2-week delays and getting IT involved. So what this does, it actually manually parses the JSON file and gets rid of weird characters. So like this might show up, for example. All right. So if I want to just run this from here, I would just go to run sub user farm, and we'd be all good. But what I'm going to do here, I'm going to show you how to add a button. So for this, you do need the developer tab. Let me show you how to get that. So go to File, Options, Customize Ribbon, and make sure that developer tab is selected, and go ahead and hit OK. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go to Developer, Insert. Let's just do a button. Put it all the way over here. And this is that macro we just made that connects to OpenAlex. Let's hit OK. It's going to name this something like, who knows, Go? How about Go? Exclamation point. All right. So now, moment of truth. Let's give it a try and see what we got. Awesome. So let's check, let's check Lisa Kudrow. Let's make sure that she has 1 word count, 1 search result, and an H index of 0. Yep, so H index is blank there, so by default, it's going to be a 0. So I don't think that this word count was cited, so that's why there's no H index or I10 index. Let's just test one more to make sure. Let's try Anthony Fauci here. We should see that 184 H index and 754 for I10 and 1065 publication. That is a lot right there. So there you have it. Hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you'd like to see more like this. There's so many data APIs out there that I'd love to show you guys, but I don't want to overwhelm you with this stuff if it's not interesting and useful. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching and subscribing, and take care, everyone.